So we kicked out Pete Briscoe, Kyle Long, Tweedledee, Tweedledum, whatever you want to call him here. But we're keeping Mike Renner. We're going to talk about your top 10 picks in the draft right now. It's crazy to think we're only about halfway through the NFL season. College football, what, a month left to the regular season? So we're taking a look. A little interesting, though. We're going to start at the top here. Your #1 overall pick, Cam Ward, quarterback of Miami, going to the Panthers. A lot of people would have taken Shedeur Sanders in that spot. Why are you changing things up?
Well, the Panthers have had their eye on the draft for a while now, but Ward, to me, has tools for days. That's the difference between Ward and Sanders. You watch them play, and he just has arm talent that Sanders can't match, flat out. You see him on a consistent basis making elite-level throws down the football field. And yeah, he's rough around the edges. He plays a loose brand of football. But he is a guy who came from a really tiny high school, went to Incarnate Word. He didn't have the best quarterback coaching. And now that he does have that situation to develop at Miami, you just see him lighting up scoreboards left and right. Probably had his worst game of the season against Florida State this past week, but it really wasn't even that bad. He's kind of consistently, every single game besides that, he's put up over 300 yards. So when I watch Cam Ward's tape, I just see high-end potential that, not to say Shedeur Sanders doesn't have, but it's just easier to buy into Cam Ward at the top of the draft.
Okay, easier to buy into Cam Ward at the top. Is that an easy pick then for the Titans going after Shedeur Sanders at #2?
I think it is. He's sort of answered a lot of the questions that we had from him going into this season on tape. Can he operate from those tight pockets without taking as many sacks as he did a year ago? He's been much better in that regard and just been much more consistent week in, week out. Hasn't had those real duds on his tape that we saw from a year ago. Now, it is a long season. We'll see how they handle big expectations now down the stretch. But he is the reason that Colorado is now ranked because of his performance on a weekly basis. You've seen some just special throws from him. And while there may be those off-field concerns and what he said about his offensive line and whatnot, you're never going to question this guy's effort and work ethic off the football field. He has some of the best fundamentals of any quarterback in this draft class.
We're really early before we get to the draft right now. And a lot of people always wonder, hey, are these things going to change here? But these two teams definitely need a quarterback. So it looks like the Pats could potentially stay there, and Travis Hunter would be the easy answer.
Yeah, I think the Pats are not going to be in the quarterback market. We've seen enough from Drake May to say he looks like a dude early on in this season. But they would love to have a guy like Travis Hunter because not only could he play cornerback for them, which they don't necessarily need, but what he's done at wide receiver this year has really opened my eyes. To me, if you just put his wide receiver tape against the other guys in this class, I think he might be wide receiver 1. I think guys like Luther Burden, guys like Tyrell McMillan from Arizona, who will be first rounders, and you see him down here on this board, I think he's been even better than them. And his tape hasn't suffered even this year when he goes to play corner. You haven't seen the sort of low effort plays that we saw on tape last year because he was exhausted. His conditioning this year has been much improved. And when that's the case, I think he can legitimately play both ways. Now, not every snap. You're not going to do that in the NFL. But he could be a third down guy defensively and be your #1 receiver on the offense side of the ball. And if that's the case, you're drafting that guy right away for the New England Patriots.
One more quarterback we want to talk about here, Garrett Nussmeier with LSU. I got a lot of LSU fans. They're very, very sad after losing to Texas A&M. I'm going to Baton Rouge for the OU-LSU game. So I'm going to see Garrett Nussmeier in person. You know, I don't want to say I hope he has a bad game, but however, you do have him breaking the top 10.
He has been very impressive. Now, very first year as a starter, but he has not had the receiving talent Jaden Daniels had last year. You know, Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, they ain't walking through that door, and he's still leading a high-powered LSU offense, and it's all on him every single week. You see the pedigree here. His dad was an NFL QB. His dad's a current quarterback coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he plays like it. His fundamentals, his footwork, his ability to attack tight windows, all an elite level, and what I love about him, he's only taken 3 sacks all season long. He handles pressure exceedingly well and doesn't take those negative plays. Even if he's going to put the ball in harm's way a little bit more, he reminds me a lot of like a younger Kirk Cousins, that guy plays high-level football from the pocket that NFL evaluators are going to fall in love with.
But can he be 2 Chainz, Kirk Cousins?
No, no one can be 2 Chainz.
Mike, we appreciate it, Mike, part of the Pushing the Pile podcast. We also want to mention with the first pick go, because are you going to make like appearances on here?
I have been. I'll be on every once in a while, yeah.
See, look, I gotta stick with your other podcast right now because we're in the season. But as we get closer to the NFL draft, although they're doing podcasts right now, with the first pick, getting you ready for the NFL draft.